How can you find the incredible power of your voice? A good example is James Earl Jones. You may know who James Earl Jones is because you may have seen the Star Wars movies and heard the voice of Darth Vader. Well, that's his voice, an incredibly powerful voice. Did you know that when he was between the ages of 5 and 15, without a voice, he had a really bad stammer or stutter, and that prevented him from wanting to speak out. So he was basically silent until he turned about 15 and one of his teachers had him read out loud in class. And soon he was on the way to discovering the true power and potential of his voice. In this video, I want to share with you my experience finding the power of my voice and give you some tips on how to find the power that is inside of you. Let's get started. When I was in graduate school, we did lots of exercises in our voice and speech classes to find our voice and our speech. One day in our movement class, otherwise known as a dance class, we were asked to do a primal dance, expressing a primal emotion, to move around the stage with abandon, just to go ahead and use our voice as fully as we could, expressing some feeling that we had inside. Well, at that time, my family was going through some difficulties, and I had a lot of feelings inside. Actually, down to the base of it, it was a lot of anger. I felt a lot of anger inside that had been kind of untapped. I'm a nice guy. I was a nice guy then, I'm a nice guy now. I'm very respectful, or try to be, and when I want to speak out, I find I don't want to be overpowering, at least at that time, especially then. I spoke in a certain way. So, here I was being asked to tap into my feelings and express those. And also, I'm a little bit quiet about expressing my feelings, or I have been that way. So there I was, I got up on a stage and I started to move around, breathing and sighing and sending out some sounds, feeling my anger. Of course, by this point, I had been doing a voice warm-up exercise so that my voice was being used fully and correctly. And what was incredible is as I whipped around the stage, I started to let out these sounds that I wasn't aware that I was capable of letting out. I was in the zone. And when I got off the stage, I could tell from the expression on my teacher's face and from the expression of my fellow actors that I had really done something different, something transformative. They had seen something in me that they hadn't seen before because I felt something I hadn't felt before, which was a real connection to my feelings and a real connection to my voice. It not only helped find my voice, but what it also helped was deal with my feelings and realize that I was sitting on some feelings that I wasn't allowing to come out. When you allow your feelings to come out, when you allow your voice to be behind those feelings, full, uncensored, unfiltered, it's an incredible feeling. So here's an exercise for you to find the power of your voice. First of all, I recommend developing a standard warm-up routine for your voice, and I have a video series available to you on the 8-minute warm-up, learning how to use your voice on a daily basis, warming up your voice so that you speak with full health behind it. Then, perhaps you're in a yoga class, and in your yoga class, you could get some of your friends together and start to, on the exhalation, instead of letting out just a breath, let out your sounds, let out your voice, the full power of your voice. Or perhaps in the car, it's a safe place. You could go ahead and tap into your feelings. Notice what your feelings are. Let those feelings come out of you fully. Maybe it's intense bliss or joy or anger. Feel what it feels like to experience the feeling and then to express it without words, just primally, just sounds. You'll get to be what people refer to as being in the zone, like being in the voice zone or being in the flow. When you're not thinking about what you're doing, you're feeling it and you're tapping in to what you're feeling. You're connected to yourself, to your body, to your voice, to your breath, and to the world at large. It's a wonderful feeling. You know, when you are doing something that you're really into, perhaps, again, the example of yoga, or you're working out, or you're running, or you're playing an instrument, or you're giving a talk, or you're with somebody who's your best friend and you are completely involved in this conversation, you lose yourself. And that's what I think is one way of describing being in the flow or the zone. Perhaps you're out riding the waves, surfing, snorkeling, whatever that is that gets you to forget about yourself and be in that moment is what you can do with your voice and finding the power behind your voice. Look what it did for James Earl Jones. Just by tapping into what is behind his voice, that power he has, he made a whole career out of it. He has an incredibly strong, powerful voice. In these times, it's important you are tapping into the power you have, being able to express what you feel, what you think, what you believe. Try this exercise at home. See how it works for you. Let me know your feelings and your thoughts. Discover the power of your voice. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.